competitive society, people are feeling more stressed than ever. They spend less time on themselves, but still pay a lot of attention to their health. They need a fast and convenient way to take vitamins and other nutrients to feed their daily needs, and that is what Blackmores provide. Blackmores Limited is an Australian health supplements company founded in the 1930s by naturopath Maurice Blackmore, when Blackmore opened the first health food shop in Australia in Brisbane, Queensland. Today, Blackmores is an ASX 200 company with a market capitalization of $2 billion. The company manufactures an extensive range of vitamin, mineral, and herbal supplements and sold in 17 markets across Asia-Pacific region. There are 5 parts of Blackmores' primary activities in general. First, the inbound logistics part. The activities are making 55 suppliers from 10 countries to meet demand, doubling production and raising high brand awareness and quality perception in the market, especially the Chinese market. Second, about operations. The activities are robotics and multi-head counters, efficiency-driven technologic installation, and quality management system through TGA and GMP compliance. Third, in the outbound logistics part, Blackmores concentrates on allied health, pharmacy stores, cross-border e-commerce channel strategy into China, and the highest return on equity by 60% of ASX 200 companies, and exploit China retail market faster than competitors. Then, as for the marketing and sales, the primary activities are digital presence improvement, specifically in Asia, entering new channels, online corporate sales, and new products to meet Asian consumers' needs. Last but not least, Blackmores concentrates on research, education, clinical trial, and university partnership in service. In the financial year 2017, Blackmores made a profit of $58,028,000, 42% lower than the profit of financial year 2016, which was $100,020,000. At the same time, in 2017, Blackmores is made a silver partner in the NSW government Sustainability Advantage Program for its environmental achievements. It also launches Australia's first interactive health bot. In 2016, Blackmores hosts more than 60 fair trade, social enterprise, and community stockholders at Warriewood campus to help raise money for charity, and it is recognized as one of Australia's best employers by the AON Best Employer Awards.
If we focus our attention on the Blackmores Limited statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, both of the figures are being stated in a single statement. The profit from continuing operations is 58,028 million Australian dollars in the financial year of 2017 and 100,020 million Australian dollars in the financial year of 2016. By comparing these two figures of two different years, we can see that the profit has decreased tremendously. On the other note, the total comprehensive income for the financial year of 2017 and 2016 is 56,067 million Australian dollars and 99,790 million Australian dollars respectively. The nature of the difference between the two figures in the two financial years have declined accordingly. This is due to the extraordinary event of the exchange differences on translation of foreign operations and the non-recurring event on hedging instruments entered into for cash flow hedges under the statement of other comprehensive income.
Let's talk about the impacts on the Blackmore companies when using the new accounting standard AASB 16. The first impact is that the change in the liabilities and assets by removing distinction between operating leases and finance leases for the lessee on the balance sheet. The new accounting standard brings what were previously recorded as the lease payments on the balance sheet, which means the company will measure the liabilities at the present value of the remaining lease payments, including the cost of use asset, like these improvements, leasehold improvements, as well as the lease payments, as well as the right use of the asset on the balance sheet. As a result, that would give a more accurate representation of financial position for the company's investors and shareholders in the future. The second one is the AASB 16 will change the profile of the expenses because the company record the straight line operating lease rental expenses in the as well as the profit as well as the lease payments are both in the profit and loss statements. Therefore, the profit for the company will change in the future. So our group made a predict line chart. We can see that the total expenses and net assets will decrease. Suffer a loss in the future, while the total liabilities and the profits will increase. According to the AASB 16, the asset which is not later than 1 year as an exemption for the new accounting standard will not be recorded as the financial position. Therefore, the total non-cancelable operating lease payments will decrease.
According to the notes of the Blackmore's financial statement, the main categories of the PPE in this company are freehold land, motor vehicles, buildings, plant and equipments, like this. And also, after initial recognized them at cost, they subsequently measure them by cost model. There are several reasons to support it. The first is no records of the loss on revaluation showed in the profit and loss statement. Second, there are also no records of the revaluation surplus in the other comprehensive income statement. Also, the note mentioned that no impairment loss recognized in the 2015 and 2016. As for why the Blackmore's is preferred to use the cost model, the first reason is the value of the main categories of the PPE are relatively stable for a long period of time. Secondly, compared to the revaluation model, the cost model is based on the historical financial information, which is more reliable and relevant. On the other hand, the revaluation model requires the company to precisely measure the fair value. It is more complicated for the company to find out the reliable and relevant information to determine the fair value, because firstly, there must be an active market for the asset. Secondly, the determination of fair value is based on many factors, such as the specific date of evaluation or the independent valuer involved, also the parties involved in the transaction. So it's hard for a company to find out the reliable information to determine it. Although it is more complicated to measure the fair value of PPE, the revaluation model can more accurately reflect the updated value of PPE. For instance, the revaluation model can reflect the appreciation of the building. However, the cost model can only depreciate the value of building. The cost model can represent a true and fair view of the Blackmore's PPE because its measurement is based on the historical information. However, I strongly recommended the revaluation model for some of the PPE in Blackmore's because the revaluation model can precisely measure and update the value of the PPE.